Okay, Summer Olympic Games and U.S. presidencies. There's like kind of two things that. So, the Summer Olympic Games started. In 1896. They haven't been held every 4 years. They attempt to, but it's not always the case. There have been various Olympic Games that have not happened. And then in 2020, the 2020 Summer Olympic Games did not happen. So those who are sticklers for year and title of Olympic Games matching, then technically the 2020 Summer Olympics did not happen. It was the 2021 Summer Olympic Games. But if people are not so much a stickler for that, they kept the branding 2020 Summer Olympic Games, but they were held in 2021. And so there's an interesting correlation between Summer Olympic Games and United States of America presidencies. I say United States of America because United States of America is not the only country that or a group of countries that uses United States. So it's a little tone deaf to refer, but that was Africa, where United States was kind of used in talking about certain countries on the continent. So just from my life experience, I choose to say United States of America. Unless I'm writing on like Wikipedia or something, and then that kind of stuff gets vandalized because people are like, there's nothing else. And I'm like, well, clearly you've never been to Africa. Anyway, or talked to people in Africa. Gone and been touristy, but not actually got to know the people. So Summer Olympic Games, 1896, they started. They haven't been held all the time. So this is for the Summer Olympic Games that have been held. There is only one president who has not held, only one. For the United States of America. And technically the United States of America isn't even the only USA, because there's groups in Africa that refer to certain countries as the United States of Africa. So technically it's not even the only US of A. So only one president for the United States of America. The Olympic Games was not held during their presidency, and it still happened. The Summer Olympic Games, because there was a Winter Olympic Games. The Summer Olympic Games were held and not during a United States during the presidency. The presidency So that's going to be the 2020 Summer Olympics Games. Were still held, but not in 2020. So not during the Trump-Pence administration. Because unlike the other ones that just did not happen, the Olympic Games canceled before, this was just a postponement a year. So it leaves, in the 125 because it was held in the summer. So in the over 125 years existence of the Summer Olympic Games and the United States of America presidency, Donald Trump is the only president who can actually speak on what it's like to not have an Olympic Games held during his presidency, but the Olympic Games is still held. Like, is it a conspiracy that the world outside the United States of America is just so anti-America that they were like, screw this, we're not going to hold it because we don't like their president? But that kind of, people like dislike the United States of America, be it Republican or Democrat presidents. But, both sides have fueled wars, and that has garnered the country some not so fond recognition internationally from my experience living abroad and in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Even within the country, people aren't that, yeah. So yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting, that if somebody wants the perspective of that, of what it's like to be a president in the United States of America, and have an Olympic Games happen, but have it not happen during their presidency, there's only one. Just one person in 125 years, and it's becoming more than 125 years, and that's Donald Trump. The closest before him is not actually a close call whatsoever, because the Olympic Games still happened, and that was 1980. So that would be Jimmy Carter. So in 1980, the Summer Olympic Games still happened. Still happened. However, the United States of America chose not to participate. And that president, so that was USA President Jimmy Carter. So only one US president, Donald Trump, we already discussed that situation, and the only president in 125 years who can speak to being like, meh, we're just not gonna compete. We're not going to participate. We're just that much better than everybody else. So they are. No, that's the vibe around these Olympic Games. Hasn't died down at all either. It wasn't in my lifetime, but that still carries over to now. Whether that was the reason people chose not to participate or what. And so, yeah. So there's one US president who can speak to the Olympic Games were held, and the country was like, we're not going to participate. And that's Jimmy Carter. So we have two unique presidents in this 125-year history overlap.